Why?
My daughter. My daughter.
How have you your daughter?
I beat her up. It wasn't my intention to kill her, but...
We are, yes.
Police! Hello, anyone in? Police, hello?
What happened to Sara?
No comment.
What did you see?
No comment.
How you left Sara?
No comment.
Can you send someone? My daughter is in love.
Yes, don't worry.
I'm a cruel father.
A hair-raising confession. This voice belongs to 41-year-old father Irfan Sharif. The victim, 10-year-old Sara, silenced forever.
Sara's death was an incident.
But the father didn't act alone. Sara's stepmother and uncle were in the house when this happened. While Irfan confessed, Sara's stepmother arranged plans to flee the country.
Welcome to Southall Travel. My name is Jatin. How may I help?
Hi there. I'd like to know about ticket by Dubai. What time?
8:50 at night, tomorrow night.
Is there anything in the morning? Is there anything shorter?
She appeared casual as they turned themselves in.
We are, yes. Yeah, I'll explain more outside, okay? Sorry? I'll explain what it is outside, okay?
And her insensitivity to Sara was noticeable.
Do you love Sara?
No comment.
Did you care about her at all?
No comment.
What happened in the little house in Surrey? What was Irfan Sharif hiding? The bone-chilling confessions will shake you to the core. Fair warning, the following content can be unsettling. Before we talk about the tragedy of little Sara Sharif, we would like to send our condolences to all those who loved Sara. Was it the father, the uncle, or an evil stepmother? More shocking details in today's video. Welcome to the channel, where we bring you the truth about crimes every week with an unbiased eye. Arriving in the UK in 2003 on a student visa, Irfan seemed adamant to stay. He started wooing Polish women so that he could get a European Union passport. Two of his ex-girlfriends reported him for domestic violence, controlling behavior, and holding them against their will. One of them was a minor at the beginning of their relationship. In December of 2007, he was arrested for false imprisonment, theft, criminal damage, and assault on 18-year-old Polish-born Angelika. Another Polish ex described his reign of terror.
He grabbed the knife. And he squeezed my cheeks and grabbed the knife and put the knife in my neck. And he said that I'm his and only...
Irfan proposed to her and insisted they have children.
I was thinking that he's like bodyguard for me.
She did get pregnant but miscarried in the second week.
That was the first thing I was thinking about, that it could be me. I had a miscarriage.
Luckily, she got out before things got worse. But Irfan could be incredibly charming and finally married Sara's mother, Olga Domin, in November of 2009. Olga was much younger and easily wooed by Irfan. She left her family in Poland to follow her heart. She was in a foreign country, couldn't speak English very well, and believed Irfan was her knight in shining armor. He took in her two sons from a previous relationship, and her family approved of him. She gave birth to their first child in 2010. Things quickly turned sour. Olga complained to her family about Irfan's controlling behavior. He would sleep with the money they both made. Olga worked nights cleaning a pub, and ultimately, she wouldn't have any cash to spend on herself. In December, Irfan was arrested for theft of £1,700. Police came to the couple's home multiple times over the years to respond to allegations of domestic violence. Irfan returned to Pakistan in 2011 and entered into Islamic marriage, nikah, with his cousin, but did not consummate the marriage. When he returned, he fathered a daughter with Olga in 2013. Little Sara was born in chaos. She and her brother were put in child care immediately as her father had child protection services watching him since his assault on his son, which included burning him with an iron. Irfan constantly reminded Olga that she couldn't survive without him because she didn't know the language or have work experience. His abuse escalated to violence. Financial abuse was another form of control, as he took £4,000 from a benefits back payment, forced her to plead for money to feed their children, and became financially dependent on her after losing his job for theft. He isolated her by taking her phone, locking her out of their home multiple times, and leaving her stranded in a foreign country without family or support. In 2014, Irfan met Beinash Batul. At the time, she claimed to have twins from another marriage and would show Irfan pictures as he dropped her off to meet them. In 2015, after years of suffering, Olga sought refuge at a domestic violence shelter, and Irfan was allowed unsupervised visits. But when the divorce was finalized in 2017, the children could stay with him on the weekends as well as school holidays. Sara lived with her mother, Olga. All the pictures from that time show a well-dressed, happy Sara. There were only supervised visits with her father for 2 years. However, there were sudden reports of abuse from March 2019. Irfan filed for custody, claiming Olga was smoking weed in the presence of his children. He recorded his children talking about being hungry all the time and that Olga smoked cannabis in the presence of her children. During that time, his family had grown. Social services could see him with a stable job, a loving wife, and a happy family. In January 2016, the couple welcomed twin daughters, born prematurely. Both were later diagnosed with autism and global development delay, and as they grew older, their behavior became increasingly challenging. In December 2018, a son was born, but he too struggled with health issues. March 2019, Irfan was granted custody of Sara and her brother. The family grew again in July 2022 with the birth of another son. By the summer of 2022, the household had expanded to include 2 adults and 6 children. Navigating the complexities of raising a large family with significant health and developmental challenges, Irfan worked long shifts as a taxi driver to make ends meet. Sara was like a ray of sunshine. Her head teacher, Mrs. Chambers, recalled how bright a student Sara was when enrolled in St. Mary's School.
This is Sara Sharif doing what she loved most, according to her teacher.
That really is what everyone remembers about Sara is just the constant song. Sara absolutely loved singing and dancing.
She was a compassionate child.
Was called often a mother hen. She would love to look after all the little children on the playground.
Her dream was to become a singer.
One of the memories that will always stay with me is when she came. One Christmas she wrote a song, and her little friend had written lyrics, and so she came to my office. Mrs. Chambers, we've written a song, we want to share it with you. And I remember saying to her, Sara, what do you want to do when you grow up? And she said to me, I want to sing. She said, I'm going to be on X Factor.
The world heard Sara's song, but not on X Factor. Sara sang in hushed tones. The reason? Neighbors often heard swearing and shouting from Beinash, followed by thwacking sounds. A door would bang shut, and the doorknob would rattle endlessly. One neighbor was surprised to see a then 6-year-old Sara taking out the trash and hanging out the washing before school. After school, she would head straight for the washing to take it off the clothesline. 29-year-old stepmother Beinash would often vent to her sister Kandil, discussing Irfan's anger issues. She messaged her sister pictures of Sara's bruises, saying, "This is how bad he is hitting her." January 24, 2021, texts reveal another beating. On May 8, 2021, Beinash again texted he had gone ballistic, and he's literally gonna break her arm or leg. I have no idea what to do. Beinash appeared helpless, stuck in the house with 4 children of her own, 3 with special needs and 1 with asthma. Maybe she had nowhere to go, but a little digging revealed something disturbing. According to Irfan, he met Beinash in late 2014, when she described herself as divorced but avoided discussing her past. Beinash had been in a relationship with another man, which her family disapproved of, allegedly holding her against her will in 2012 to prevent the marriage. Police intervened and Batul and the man were placed in a refuge for victims of honor-based violence. A year later, she revealed that her ex-husband, Khan, had been jailed for drug dealing. Beinash claimed she had twin children being cared for by her ex-husband's family and would visit them, showing Irfan photos and sending them gifts. However, she admitted in 2022 that the twins were fictitious after he found a letter from Khan asking to see his child. Khan, who was jailed in 2015 for smuggling heroin and later deported to Pakistan, said Beinash falsely told him they had a daughter after he went to prison. He said she showed him photos but never brought the child to visit, later blocking his attempts to contact her. So there was some manipulation on Beinash's part, and the way she messaged her sister seemed that she wanted Irfan to sound like a bad guy. Irfan's testimony would reveal that Beinash would call him during working hours complaining about Sara's behavior. The neighbors could also hear her yelling and using curse words at all the children, specifically little Sara, whom the neighbors had never seen smiling. June 6, 2022, the school's child protection online monitoring system recorded bruises on Sara's body, which she said were caused by a younger sibling. Within a week, her parents pulled her from school and emailed the head teacher that Sara would be homeschooled.
There was criticism, too, of the system that allowed her father to remove her from school after teachers had raised concerns.
The little girl returned in September following a meeting of her parents and teachers. By December 2022, Irfan's younger brother, Faisal Malik, had moved in with the family in Woking, Surrey. A student of business studies, he followed his brother's path. He witnessed the events in the house and chose to remain silent. Neighbors could see that Sara did not mix in with the family. St. Mary's Church of England School called social services in June of 2022 because teachers noticed bruises on Sara. However, the Sharifs provided some explanations that satisfied the social workers. But in January 2023, Irfan made her wear a hijab in an attempt to cover the marks the brutes left on the little girl. Any conversation about the hijab was cut short, with her guardians claiming she wanted to follow her religion while none of the females in her family wore the hijab, including her stepmother. In March of 2023, Helen Simmons, a teacher, reported bruises on Sara's face to social services. Unfortunately, the case was closed within 6 days without much investigation. The following month, Irfan beat Sara severely. She was unable to walk or attend school. The very next day, he emailed the school announcing Sara was to be homeschooled.
Hello?
Yes, hello? Is everything okay?
Hello, can you... Nothing is okay. Can you write on my address, please?
I don't understand what you're saying. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and tell me what's happened.
I cannot. I physically punished my daughter and she died. I left home in a panic. God, she is allowed at home.
I need you to take a breath because I cannot understand what you're saying, okay? Your daughter has died.
My daughter. My daughter.
This is a 999 call placed on the 10th of August, 2023. Irfan Sharif called emergency services to report the demise of little Sara Sharif.
Nobody's at home. Hello?
Hello, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Can you send someone there? I left my front door keys under the front mat.
Okay.
My daughter is dead. Panic, I left her.
Who's killed your daughter?
It's me.
Okay.
Father.
The dispatcher had to quickly take as many details as he could before the perpetrator changed his mind, also getting a confession in the process.
How?
I said she was naughty. I physically chastised.
I'm going to need you to slow down, okay? How have you killed your daughter?
I beat her up. It wasn't my intention to beat her, but I beat her up too much.
What is your name?
My name is Urfan Sharif.
He seemed grief-struck by the horror he had inflicted on the little girl, mourning her and sobbing over what he had done.
I'm still here. I'm just writing all of this down.
Can you send someone? My daughter is in love.
Yes,
Please,
yes, don't worry. Nothing's going to be slowed down, okay?
Irfan assured the dispatcher that he would go to a police station.
Okay, I need you to slow down, okay? What is your daughter's name?
Sara Sharif.
He explained what happened that day.
What happened? What led to this all happening?
Actually, she was naughty over the last 3-4 weeks, and I was giving her punishment that she to sort her out. And just I did something, and she died.
Was she breathing when you left?
No, she was not. I tried to resuscitate her, tried to give her CPR, everything, but I failed. I left in panic.
Was she bleeding anywhere?
No.
Okay.
She's bad, I'm telling you.
When did this happen?
About 36 hours ago.
It was shocking. Her body had remained unreported for 36 hours. What took so long? The truth was that on the 6th of August, Beinash showed him a video of Sara dancing in the living room. Her father found it to be provocative. Sara already had trouble eating and drinking and soiled her clothes. 2 days later, 8th of August, he flew into a rage when she soiled her clothes yet again, as she had no control over her bodily functions by now. They made her wear a diaper and tied her up. There are conflicting accounts of what happened next. Her grandfather said he had spoken to Sara during dinner time. She was sitting at the dinner table planning a trip to Pakistan so she could explore the village with him. But within hours of this conversation, Sara was no more. According to Beinash, Irfan beat her as she lay lifeless in her arms, kicking her body twice before realizing her life had ended. Irfan, on the other hand, initially claimed that Sara was already blue when he got home and that Beinash had said she fell down the stairs. Whatever the case, he later confessed to beating her up, assuming she was pretending to be sick. He didn't know she wasn't alive. He didn't know because Sara's head would be covered in a bag that served as a makeshift hood over her head. That way, the little girl had no idea who was beating her with what. The younger siblings said it was like a game. They would be encouraged to take turns beating up Sara as she screamed through the hood. Her uncle Faisal Malik's DNA was also recovered from the alleged cricket bat. Once her body went limp, her stepmother called travel agencies to arrange a flight to Pakistan.
Welcome to Southall Travel. My name is Jatin. How may I help?
Hi there. I'd like to know about commit by to Pakistan.
All right. Let's go. So where do you want to go, ma'am?
Islamabad.
Yeah. And from which airport?
And whichever one it is.
Okay. Your travel dates, please.
Early as possible tomorrow.
Beinash believed time was of the essence. She told Irfan there was no point in calling an ambulance since little Sara had passed, stripped her of her clothes, and removed the diaper that was forced on her. They took her outside in the yard. They then used a pressure washer to jet wash her body.
And return?
Single.
Okay.
What time?
8:50 at night, tomorrow night. Any flight available in the morning?
Is there anything in the morning?
Just a minute.
Is there anything shorter?
There was urgency, and Faisal Malik could be heard in the background almost biting his nails.
So you're driving right now?
I'm driving, I'll come back.
Okay, what is your registration number?
I left that at Heathrow car park, Terminal 3, on the top floor.
What the dispatcher didn't know was that the family had already fled. They were in Pakistan. They were later seen on surveillance videos near their home and the airport. Irfan was casually walking, simply going about his day. They had already left the country as Irfan spoke about his car with the dispatcher, passing through Heathrow Airport on the 9th of August. He had left little Sara lying in a bunk bed in her home, a pink duvet draped over her as if asleep.
Please, I'll come back. Could you please send someone there?
No, don't worry. We are already deployed. This is not slowing any of this down, okay?
The dispatcher wanted to get Irfan behind bars.
Whose car are you in?
Someone else's car.
Whose car are you in, though?
It's someone else's car. Please, I'll come.
Irfan refrained from giving any information that could put him in the clutches of the law as the dispatcher fruitlessly tried to convince him to come back.
Do you know the registration for the car that you're driving?
No.
Whose car is it?
I don't. It's my friend's car. I'm not around. Could you please go there? I'll get back to you soon. I'll hand over myself. I'll come to work in police station.
No, you need to go back to the address now. Okay? You need to go back to the address.
I will.
Irfan assured him that he would return, but why did he flee in the first place?
Where are you right now?
I cannot give more details. I promise I'll come back. I'll face the justice.
I need to know where you are.
When police showed up at the house in Woking, Surrey, it was a tragedy most of them couldn't fathom. Sara's body sustained over 71 external injuries.
Police! Josh, got the door open.
Just to bear in mind, the mayor has just got contact us, so he's currently driving back to the address. He said he cannot give more details.
Police, hello, anyone in?
Very hysterical on the phone, they're really struggling.
Yeah, so we've got an interview with the facts. I'm going to go and have a look.
Alright, Steve. Brilliant one.
Her family would volunteer their teeth impressions, all except Beinash Batul. An autopsy would reveal that she had been suffering for several weeks, with many wounds and fractures healing over time. Her injuries were the sort people suffered in a high-speed car wreck. Olga Domin was called to identify the little one.
Brali jej piżamkę w myszkamiki, miała kołodrę dziecięcą przykrytą, ale żadna matka nie powinna oglądać takiego czegoś. Miała policzek napuchniętych, z drugiej strony miała siniaki. Do tej pory, jak zamykam oczy, to widzę, jak moje dziecko wyglądało.
The system had 15 chances to save Sara over the years.
To nie była Sara. Całkiem zmieniona, posiniaczona. Gdyby mi ktoś nie powiedział, że to jest Sara, to bym w życiu nie uwierzył.
Every adult failed Sara Sharif. Her body was handed over to Olga, and she was laid to rest in Poland. There was a vigil, and the school named an award in honor of the little singer. Meanwhile, the Pakistan High Court was pressured to flush out the assailants of Sara Sharif and procure her remaining 5 siblings. Rasik Munir, a relative of Irfan, provided refuge to the fugitives.
Irfan Sharif room.
This is Irfan's room.
This Irfan room.
The man explained the family was given shelter as he was worried about the children.
This is where he stayed.
इधर stay किया उन्होंने, इधर रुके हैं, इधर सोए हैं, इधर टेबल पे खाना खाते थे, बैठते थे, बिनेश से भी मीटिंग करते थे कि लायर से राब्ता करें, ठीक है, पुलिस से राब्ता करें उधर.
He would hide them from the police as most of their belongings were in his car, parked in a safe place. The man had no idea what the family had done. He believed they were innocent.
अक्सर उनकी बिनेश की और उसकी मीटिंग जब बच्चों के कमरे से उठ के इधर आती थी, इधर मीटिंग चलती थी.
You said that police raided here. If the police raided, how did they never find you or the children?
ये छत है ना जी, इधर से भी पुलिस नजर आती है, ठीक है, चारों साइडों से ये 2 रोड हैं. फिर मैं उनको लेके इधर चला जाता था. ये इसी तरह जो इसके अंदर चले जाते थे.
You hid in here?
हाँ उधर इसके अंदर.
When questioned about Sarah's siblings, he believed he was doing good.
हाँ उस वक्त भी children भी उस वक्त भी यही चीजें थी. ये same यही मौसम था.
I mean, what were the children like? Were they not scared?
डरते थे. लेकिन उनको कुछ समझ नहीं थी लग रही हमारे साथ क्या हो रहा है.
You still hid them from the police, knowing that the police wanted to talk to them about Sara's death. Did you ever not feel like you were doing the wrong thing by hiding these adults?
मैंने मदद की है इरफान की.
He proudly showed the reporters where he hid them each time police raided his house.
मदद की इरफान की और वो जो छोटे बच्चे थे ना अगर मैं मदद ना करता वो जलील हो जाने थे. तकरीबन 5 दफा.
Five times.
Police भी 5 times आई है सिर्फ.
And 5 times you ran in here.
But the raids were not the only measure taken by the police. 2 of Irfan's brothers were held at an unknown location to pressure them into going back to the UK. The children were living with their grandfather, who wanted to keep them safe from Irfan. Muhammad Sharif, the grandfather, was already heartbroken about Sara. He had been looking forward to seeing her and was shaken to the core. The family had arrived straight to his house and told him about her untimely demise. He was upset that they were placed in Pakistani childcare and worried about the way they would be treated. He was later granted custody of the children. There was growing pressure on Irfan and Beinash. Many of their relatives were questioned by the police, and their homes were repeatedly raided. But the reason only the children were apprehended was because Beinash and Irfan were hiding in the house next door, with large LCDs showing them a live feed of the house. This way, they were able to evade arrest as the police had no warrant for the house next door. They finally released a video statement.
Firstly, I would like to talk about Sara. Sara's death was an incident. Our family in Pakistan are severely affected by all that is going on.
Beinash wanted to clarify that they hadn't claimed an accident.
All the media have been giving wrong statements and making up lies. Imran did not give a statement that Sara fell down the stairs and broke her neck. This was spread through a Pakistani media outlet. I am very worried about Imran's safety. All of our family members have gone into hiding as everyone is scared for their safety.
Beinash knew if the Pakistani authorities captured them, they would be subject to beatings as the people were angry over the events in Surrey.
The kids are unable to attend school as they are afraid to leave the house. No one is leaving the house. The groceries have run out and there is no food for the kids as the adults are unable to leave their homes out of fear of safety.
She claimed they would turn themselves in.
That is why we have gone into hiding. Lastly, we are willing to cooperate with the UK authorities and fight our case in court.
The reason for doing so was because they would face a harsher sentence in Pakistan than in the UK, with capital punishment still in effect and the prison conditions much more bleak than in the Western world. They booked tickets under their names and returned to the UK on the 13th of September 2023.
I am going to have to jump here because, as you can see on your screens, the plane is coming down. Now, this, of course, is the plane carrying relatives of Sara Sharif.
Police boarded the plane as soon as the flight landed at Gatwick Airport.
We are, yes. Are you okay just to swap over? Just yourself come with me, and if you go with my colleague over there, is that all right?
Beinash, where's your bag? Have you got like a cabin bag?
He does.
Beinash appeared calmer than her husband. Irfan, on the other hand, looked defeated.
Which one is your bag?
I don't have any bag.
You have no bag?
No.
Okay. We'll look overhead. Right, can you put your hands together like that, please? I'll explain more outside, okay?
Sorry?
I'll explain more outside, okay?
The legal battle that followed started with Irfan throwing Beinash under the bus.
Yeah, could you just confirm your name for me, please, sir?
Yeah, Irfan Sharif.
Sharif.
Yeah, Irfan Sharif.
As the officer read him his charges, Irfan's face remained emotionless.
The body of Sara Sharif was discovered on the 10th of August 2023 on 6 Hammond Road in Horsell. On the injuries sustained by her and the investigation conducted, you are suspected of her murder.
His children were safe in Pakistan, or so he believed. His father had custody. Olga wouldn't even get to see Sara's surviving brother.
You are therefore arrested for murder of Sara Sharif. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court, and anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Beinash Batul, while serious, wasn't too upset either. They were all arrested from the business class of the airplane, flying in the best of comforts, perhaps because they knew it was the last time they would do so.
You are therefore arrested for the murder of Sara Sharif. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you mention one question, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand what that means? Okay.
Faisal Malik was wide-eyed and seemed almost afraid, but he had inarguably taken part in the tragedy of Sara Sharif.
From the injuries sustained by her and the investigation conducted, you are suspected of her murder. You are therefore arrested for the murder of Sara Sharif.
Beinash had been a 20-year-old when she eloped with Irfan.
Please, could you introduce yourself? What's your name?
So my name is Beinash Batul.
And you are about to be interviewed for the offence of murder. What's your understanding of murder? What's your understanding of that offence?
Killing someone.
After 4 children, 3 with special needs, she might even feel trapped.
That's the offence for which you've been arrested for, and that's the offence for which we're going to speak to you about, all right? What happened to Sara?
No comment.
Stifling a yawn, Beinash seems anything but a victim right now.
What did you see?
No comment.
Whose choice was it? How you left Sara?
No comment.
In the video statement the couple had released earlier, she said she wanted to clear her name.
You know, Dawn's just said, as you said in the video, you want to come back to the UK, clear your name in the UK courts. Well, here we are. This is the start of the process. So why would you not speak to us now?
No comment.
Who did that to Sara?
No comment.
Understandably, she did not say anything that could be used in court. But some questions begged an answer, and Beinash's entire demeanor changed.
Do you love Sara?
No comment.
Did you care about her at all?
No comment.
Beinash did not address any feelings towards Sara. Perhaps if she had shown any emotion at all, it would show her to be a good mother who simply lost a child. Faisal needed a translator as his grasp of the English language wasn't that good.
We're here because we're trying to find out how Sara died.
फैसल इससे पहले कि मैं इस का इख्तिताम करूं इस इंटरव्यू का हम यहाँ पर इसलिए मौजूद हैं कि सारा जो है वो किस तरह उसकी मौत हुई है.
Yet, despite all he had seen and all that he knew, his stance remained the same as Beinash's.
Who is responsible for her death?
और उसका ज़िम्मेदार कौन था उसकी मौत का?
No comments.
Okay.
In my view, this little girl was tortured.
He listened as the translator explained his ties to the case.
And you were either actively involved in torturing her, or you were just sat there going, it's not my problem, I can't do anything. And involved in that way.
No comments.
If Faisal Malik hadn't been directly involved in the horrors Sara endured, he would have probably spoken up against his family, at least in the interrogation.
ये खुद जाने तो फिर इसमें इस तरह की आपकी शमूलियत है.
No comments.
His stone wall pointed to something sinister. Perhaps he too was one of her assailants.
And what did you think the outcome of your actions would be?
आपकी क्या सोच थी कि आपकी जो कार्रवाई है उसका नतीजा क्या निकलेगा? No comment.
Unable to make eye contact with the detectives, he maintained the no-comment pact with his family members.
I'll just give you one last opportunity now in this interview.
इस इंटरव्यू में मैं आपको एक आखिरी मौका देना चाहता हूँ.
To tell us what happened to Sara.
कि बताएं हमें कि सारा के साथ हुआ क्या?
And what was your involvement?
और आपकी क्या मुदाखलत थी? No comment.
But he knew exactly how he was involved, showering fatal blows on a 10-year-old. The trial came to a conclusion on the 17th of December 2024.
Judges must be careful about using the word torture. It should not be overused, but it is no exaggeration to describe the campaign of abuse against Sara as torture. None of you has shown a shred of true remorse.
43-year-old Irfan Sharif was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 40 years, while 30-year-old Beinash Batul was also to serve her life behind bars. She could appeal the sentence with a minimum term of 33 years for her role in the tragic slaying of 10-year-old Sara Sharif. Faisal Malik, 29, received a 16-year sentence for causing or allowing her abuse and demise, having been found not guilty of direct responsibility. Their sentences brought a grim conclusion to the case, and justice for the suffering Sara endured. Interestingly, Beinash shares the same prison as the infamous nurse Lucy Letby, who took the lives of numerous infants. Beinash and Lucy are close friends now, with Michelle Smith in their group, who fatally poisoned her 6-month-old baby. Such inmates usually stick together for safety as they are isolated from others. They spend their time talking, playing cards, and generally living their lives. Today, the surviving children remain in Pakistan with their grandfather studying at a prestigious school. Olga is fighting to get her son back. Little Sara will forever be remembered as the songbird who lost her life too soon.
This is Sara Sharif doing what she loved most, according to her teacher.
That really is what everyone remembers about Sara, is just the constant song, constant singing, constant dancing.
It goes without saying that her tragedy reminds us to say something if we see something. Next time you hear yelling and screaming or a child crying, knock on the door. Look at the child. Perhaps a life could be saved. Do you think Sara's assailants got a fitting end? Let us know your comments below.